So I told you that it's a continuation of the last one. So there's people in here that don't want me here. Um, uh, for several reasons, none of which I've caused purposely. Um, but I told you people have been fucking with me. Um, and my fucking parents, or my mother and my stepfather, have allowed this to happen. Um, uh, so um, so I told you they sabotaged my furnace because they're trying to freeze me out. Um, I I have a wood stove in. Um, they complain that I apparently don't know how to burn wood, and I'm gonna burn the house down, and um, all this bullshit. Um, I've been heating with wood since like 2005. So um, I don't know. They so yeah, they sabotaged the furnace. Um, so that hasn't worked in a while, in a few years. Last year um, I made the mistake of mentioning to my aunt Sharon Fife that I left my wall heater on. I have a wall heater as well, and I mentioned to her that I left it on. Now this is a woman who owes me a lot of money, and I think's been sneaking in my home as well. She's greedy, and she wants to take things that don't belong to her. One of which is my property here, my residence. Um, so I mentioned to her that I was with her, and I mentioned to her that yeah, Sharon, you owe me money. Anyways, I mentioned to her that I left my wall heater on, that I need to go home and shut it off because it burns a lot of propane. Basically, I just wanted to get away from her because I smelled a rat, um, and she's definitely a rat. Um, she uh, yeah, she's a rat amongst other things. Maybe I'll go into that later, but not today. Um, he's neglecting me. Yeah, yeah, he's neglecting you. You're sick, Aunt Sharon. Sick. Anyways, uh, so I come home the next day. I try and use my wall heater. All of a sudden, it doesn't work. It wasn't a big deal. I don't. It burns a lot of propane, and I didn't really mess with it. So a few days ago, I messed with it a little bit, and I think that somebody snuck in here and swapped the battery out with a bad battery. So that's all it was. The igniter controlled by is powered by a battery. Um, so that's all it was. Um, so I got it working, right? Um, and so I leave the house. I go to my doctor's appointment. I come back and I'm trying to get the heater going because it's cold. Um, and now I just put a new battery in it. All of a sudden, It's not working anymore. It was working fine before I left. I shut it off before I left. I come home. Now it's not working. I know it's in my camera. Um, right as I'm screwing around, just starting to screw around, um, the president of the park drives his truck in front of my house. Coincidence? I don't know. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of bullshit going on. So yeah, they're trying to freeze me out. That's not gonna fucking work. Um, they tried. They know that the only thing I use propane for was to cook my stove. Um, so like I said before, I left the house. All of a sudden, I come back and I try and cook, and I find that there's been locks put on my propane tanks for no reason. And the propane company overly fixed the problem, so I've got nothing but good things to say about them. Um, Victory Propane, great propane company, um, and I think they're national. I'm not sure, so um, props to them. But anyways, um, so yeah, so what I've determined is they came in and they somehow shorted out the igniter somehow. I don't know, but it's not working. Um, so so then 2 days ago, my water lines freeze up. So now they're trying to starve me of my water, um, which isn't going to work either. Um, but yeah, so here I am sitting here. They've sabotaged all my fucking heating um, sources. Thank God I have a wood stove because it's cold. But so they deliberately got my water lines to freeze up. So um, yeah, there's a whole bunch of bullshit going on here. So I'm gonna get to this sex trafficking in Holmes County thing that I was talking about. Now I don't know who exactly is involved in this, but I'm guessing that my mother and the sheriff's department is involved in this. Now, so first like I told you before, they keep sending these gay men towards me. Um, Let me make this clear. I want no part of you. Stay away from me. Um, but what's funny is they've got this I, I've got this alleged mental illness case in the court, and um, now everybody knows I'm perfectly sane. Um, and so what's funny is I this is in reference to a letter that I wrote as a complaint, um, but I'll go into it here. Um, so I've got this case going, and they're going to clear me of this. So this ends this alleged mental illness that my mother has fucking created. My mother and Dr. Ann Ciccarelli. Um, she's a big fucking problem. Um, She's a lunatic stalker, and she's been watching me for a long time, um, illegally, mind you. Many people have been watching me illegally. Um, I don't know what gives people the idea that it's okay to fucking spy on people for no reason. Um, but yeah, so here comes. I get a knock on the door, um, and it's they're delivering me a piece of mail from the courthouse about my case, and it's this social worker named Dave and the bailiff from the probate court. Um, and I'm talking to him, whatever, and um, the bailiff hands me the letter and says, "I'm going to be taking care of you." Now, that didn't click with me right away. It clicked with me later on, and the fuck you are taking care of me. Um, you ain't coming near me ever again. Um, so, just an FYI, uh, don't come on my property again. Um, because so yeah, there's the sheriff's department's involved in this. Deputy dipshit, Deputy Hall, who I mentioned before has ties back to New London, to stalker family, um, um, who doesn't like me. Yeah, I when I bought my house on Coleman Court, um, I bought my house on Coleman Court, and there was the guy that lived behind me comes up to me and he starts talking to me. We hit it off, uh, friendly, whatever. Um, but my son was on a t-ball team. I, I'm not sure if it was t-ball or baseball yet or what it was. But he was on this team with the coach that I was friends with, and I had planned to uh, possibly help the coach with the team, but I didn't end up doing that. But anyways, Chad comes up to me. His name is Chad Hall. He comes up to me and he says to me, um, "Hey, I took Caven off your team and I put him on my team, and you're gonna help me coach." So he just comes over here. He just does this without asking me, and I didn't really say much. I was kind of shocked that it happened. Um, and so I got pissed off. I called up uh, the coach that my son was on because I deliberately placed him on that team. Um, and um, so that created a problem. He didn't like that I pulled my son off of his team and put him back on the team that I originally placed him on. So that created a problem. Now later, um, his wife accused my son of stealing some kind of wrestling figure or something like that. Um, Now that was bullshit. My son didn't steal his fucking toy, and this psycho uh, lady tries to pick a fight with me in front of the neighbor's house. Um, and I told her, I said, Caven did not steal that. Um, there is no reason for him to steal that. He has the same toy himself. Why would he steal that? And she tried to argue with me, and I just said, I'm not doing this. And I walked away. I haven't spoken to him since. Very shortly after that, they moved. Supposedly they moved to Arizona. I could really give a fuck where they went. Um, I really don't care. Um, but yeah, so this Deputy Hall, who needs handcuffs herself because she's a psycho stalker, and so yeah. So the sheriff's department is involved in this sex trafficking. They're trying to force me to go and be with these this bailiff and this social worker or something. But that's not happening. Um, so now I'm hoping that now I know there's people watching this whole situation, um, and they're not going to allow this to happen. But um, this is the kind of shit that happens down here, um, and it's all fucking corrupt. I mean, it's corrupted from the fucking core. And I told you before that my stepfather and my mother are trying to hook me up with this gay cop, with the Lieutenant Stryker, I believe his name is. Um, that's not happening either. And it goes to show you how demented and evil my mother and my stepfather are. Um, Now, I got I get the impression that my mother's going around uh, calling me a pedophile. Um, she did the same shit to uh, my old uncle. Um, and I'm getting the impression that this is the kind of thing that she does. This is also a woman who took out a life insurance policy out on me because of baseball cards that I stole when I was 10 to 13 years old. Um, and also because of these naughty little pictures that I saw when I was a kid, and I made the mistake of telling my wife this, or my ex-wife. Um, and I told you she went back and told my mother and told my stepfather about this. She told him about the baseball cards. She told him about the pictures. She also went and told her boss about this, who I believe she was having an affair with, and probably currently is with him. Possibly, I don't know. Um, and I also told you about this Neuralink device that I believe was um, implanted during cervical spine surgery. I also have I had so yeah. Let's get back to that. Um, so in order to make me pay for those baseball cards that I stole, I believe that Tim Bayliss and Dr. John Peck got together. Dr. John Peck is my ex-wife's boss. Um, they got together and they saw it fitting to give me Lou Gehrig's disease, which I believe I made a video on this before. Um, so that's where this Neuralink device came. This whole idea came from. Um, so they collaborated with my neurosurgeon and had this device illegally placed in my spine, cervical spine. Um, I mentioned before this Neuralink device can heal you. I've gone through periods where I've like you feel in areas where you have a tremendous amount of pain. It feels fucking great. It can heal you, but it can also hurt you. They can do all kinds of things with this thing. They can speed up your heart rate, um, which oh yeah, yeah. I gotta mention that too. Um, they they can do all kinds of things um, with this Neuralink device. Um, I don't know who's controlling it. I believe it's controlled, but I, I think you can control it with an app um, on your phone. Um, the app I believe it's called is called Neuralink, and I'm thinking that there's a password and you log in, and I don't know if this is true, but um, anyways, so since I've been here, they're trying to freeze me out. That hasn't worked. Now they're attacking the water. Um, but something also that's happened, and Tim Bayliss knows all about this, um, is they're putting chemicals into my water supply. They found a way to isolate my water supply somehow, and they're putting chemicals into my water supply. Um, I believe this to be true. I believe this to be true because of a conversation that I had with my stepfather. Um, and I and I and I said some I was talking to my mom first, and I said I started drinking water. I started drinking water out of the tap, and all of a sudden I started to feel funny. Um, and it was so I start to feel funny. I call my mom and I'm talking to her on the phone, and I said it's in the water. I said there's something in the water, and she said I know, or something along those lines. She gave me the impression that she knew exactly what I was talking about. And then later on, I'm talking to my stepfather, Tim Bayliss, and I was talking about it's like they put fucking cocaine or something in the water somehow. I don't know what it was that they put in the water, um, but I was feeling very funny. Um, so another reason why I think they've tampered with my water is because I saw the president of this park, um, who's somehow he came somehow he got a mini excavator. I don't know how he got it, um, but he kept making trips with this mini excavator down past my house. I don't know where the hell he was going, but I get the impression that maybe this mini excavator was bought to uh, to do something with my water supply. Um, but so the water hasn't been. I haven't been drinking. Well, I have been because I make tea, but um, the water supply hasn't been messed with lately. But it is now. Now I don't know if they shut the water off or or they or it's just. I mean, I think they sprayed the lines with water or something that caused the lines to freeze up. Um, but now, uh, yeah, there's just so much fucking bullshit going on down here. Um, and it's fucked up, man. It really is. Um, I'm trying to be. They're trying to fucking sex traffic me off to a bailiff and a social worker. Um, I am not gay. Not even fucking close. Uh, it's not going to happen, guys. If you want me to leave, you're going to have to shoot me. Um, you're not going to freeze me out. You're not going to starve me out. And um, um, it's going to be warm here in a couple days, and my water's going to be working. So um, it's Christmas Eve, and these people are trying to do this to me. Um, something needs to be done.